So now I've noted down a few terms which you mentioned. So let's go through these one by one. So start with, I think you mentioned PRD. So what is a PRD and what role does it play?
Yeah, so a PRD or a product requirements document is an artifact that you create early on once you've identified your solutions to your problem. It's basically justifying the reason why you're building it. It also has different flavors to it in terms of okay, what are the different approaches that you have to identify the problem. You can have different features under it. You also have some sort of visual representation of the current problems faced by the user. I talked about an example where having actual customer quotes is really helpful. The reason I say that is that what I've seen is, like, as a developer, when you read a document written by a product manager, it sort of seems a bit partial. But when you actually have the perspective of the users, right, that is sort of actually gives you more credibility to that document. So you can use different tools or different visual representations like an experience map, an empathy map, to sort of visualize or help the reader visualize what issues are being faced. Generally, you would also want to have in scope and out scope items, because especially, let's say you're building an MVP, you don't want to include features which are not really going to move the needle. So you need to clearly define that, okay, this is what we're building as part of an MVP, this is what we're not building. That's really important to set the context. Some metrics, like, okay, what does success look like for you, right? When you're actually going to achieve, assume that you've built these features, assume they've rolled out to the users. What are you going to say is going to be achieved in terms of metrics, right? That is, like I said, that is how you know whether to stop optimizing or to continue optimizing. That's another important thing. And timelines. The reason I said timelines is PRDs is a very document which is used by multiple stakeholders, including sales, right? So they need to sort of pre-sell new features or new solutions to the customer. So at least they need to have some heads up in terms of, okay, these are the timelines or horizons that we're looking at. And it also helps sort of set a sort of priority within your development teams, keep it in their radar that, okay, this is a PRD or something which you need to work on. But also, I'm a big fan of using canvases also. So because documents, they can be very verbose, lengthy. So something like a Miro canvas or a whiteboard canvas, there are various tools which you can use, free tools, where you can sort of depict all of these ideas are talked about in visual format, in cards, in sticky notes, emojis, quotes, and those are more readable and easier to collaborate as well, because when you're talking to a group of stakeholders, let's say in the same call, when you're trying to align teams for a PRD like marketing, sales, going through a document might be a bit tedious versus showing them a canvas and taking through to the different parts of it. So yeah, the PRD is that, and it's not just needs to be a document. There can be various ways depending on how you want to showcase the need of that those features.
So does the PRD also include risk plan or risk management plan?
Yes, because it might be that certain features or certain things you eventually during development you figure out that, okay, it can't be built as much. There are underlying assumptions you have. We talked about veg, non-veg. There are different things based on assumptions on which you have started building those features. But markets change, things change. Those assumptions might be correct now, but not correct later. So you include those as well, and the reason for that is you need to test for those, at least listen for them periodically to ensure that, okay, any market shifts haven't happened which renders your assumptions false, or those risks have become really important right now. And there can be certain events as well, like, for example, let's say you foresee a market competitor going to enter the market, something like a Zomato might enter your food delivery space. You're not sure, but you still think of it. So you need to think of maybe documenting those kinds of risks as well, because, like I said, marketing, sales need to know about it. So when they're actually building marketing collateral, they don't say it's just a food delivery app. It actually talks about a food delivery app with your customer value proposition. So those kinds of risks also need to be part of the PRD.